Okay, so I'll have a look at the 15-minute first. We do XRP. I'll have a look at 15 minutes. So you can see there was a large consolidation here. And we're trying to figure out, is it going up or is it going down? So big battle going on. It seems to have lost. However, we just got to check that on this impulse here, the correction 786 is down here, so it's touched off it. So there's just one precautionary tale, is that we don't get an impulse up and it comes up. I don't think it's going to happen, and I'll tell you why. Because the 15-minute on the 15-minute, you can see that 20 crosses over the 55, and again it creates this drop, and this down channel that's been going on at the moment has been basically two 15-minute crossovers here. The first one offered 15% correction and then a drop. This one offered 17%, is a correction, and now it looks like we're dropping again. So again, and it's crossed over here, and a 16% drop here would bring us to the 1786 at 226.60. So this seems like a reasonable target, yeah. So we're just precautionary, making sure that this doesn't do a 1-2 up here, break the VWAP, turn the VWAP into support like it did second part of yesterday, and then we could have a lift up. So I'm just watching that doesn't happen, you know. And now, why do I not think that's going to happen? When I zoom into the MAs here, I'll actually show you on this one first, and I'll go to the daily. So on the daily here, when I zoom, this one, no, this one, my apologies. On the daily, you can see I'm measuring the fibs from the bottom of the bear market previously to the top of price action on this cycle, yeah. So you can see it dropped in, and let me just zoom in here now. So it dropped in to the golden pocket and bounced off the golden pocket, and yesterday it was a retrace. Came back up and hit the 618. It came into this 618, back down, back up yesterday, back down a little bit, and back up last night, and then down again. So that was the bouncing of the last day or two, yeah, and the sideways. So now it got rejected off the 618, and seems like we're coming back down. It would be looking at, again, remember the 786, it touched it here. We want to see it break below this previous bottom, which means breaking the 065. And if it does that, then it looks like we're heading down to the 702. So the 702 target is 25.3. The smaller impulse here will be the 786 at 26.6. 26.6, somewhere up around here. Excuse me. So I'd imagine the range that when we see this break clearly would be between the 26.6 and 25. Looks like that. And then there might be another consolidation phase back up to the 065. If it wants to break out, we got to break up above this, break above. If it's going to do for continuation, we could be heading to the 065 and then back down again. Breaking the 702, breaking the 702, and if it breaks the 702, the 786 back at 20 cent would be the target, yeah. So it's quite possible we might find our bottom here, yeah. So that's it. Short and sweet. Here's my ranges. I'm just measuring them as they go down. Here's my MAs. If I just show you briefly with the MAs, the 1 hour is pushing down. The 5 and the 1 hour is pushing down now. These guys are starting to spill. The 2 and 3 hour are a little slow. They look for a spill, but if there was a big green candle up here, these guys could turn pretty fast. But they do look for a spill, but they're a bit slow moving. You know, you can see the VWAP is moving faster than these guys. A beautiful spill motion there, but again, they're you want to see a bit more action. What's holding it in place? Why would it be held down now? When there's the 4 again looking like a spill, but again, if it was a green candle, it could turn it. But now when you get to the 6 hour, this is where, hang on, jumped off the 4 hour too fast. No, well, you can see the 20s coming down here, but when you get to the 6 hour, I think the 6 hour, the 10 MA on the 6 hour was one of the deciding factors on the push down. So you can see this is spilling like a beautiful thing. So the 6 hour is in position already for the push. So is the 8 hour. You can see it there. So is the later time frame. The later hours are actually in a better position. Look at the 10 here. This was a decider as well on the 9 hour, and then the 5 and the VWAP. So this is just set up to spill. So while the 1, 2, and 3 hour get their stuff together, is these guys are already to go. It's the 12 hour, and then here's the daily, and the 5 on the daily is in a perfect push position. Yeah. So that's it. That's it. I believe we're heading down, and we're going to have a trip down to 27, between 26 and 27, say. So that's it. That's it now. Straightforward. Let's see what happens now in the London cycle, and then again later on today with New York. Mihaela, do you want to take over?
Amazing, Roy. Super.
Let me
Yes.
take off my screen and you share yours.
Okay. Now, I'll start with Bitcoin this morning, and it's done what we thought it was going to do yesterday. So it was a bit of a bull trap yesterday, as it looked all set up for a lift. It came from the previous bottom of 20,700 to the 414 and was holding it, and then it started getting rejected at the 1272, so it couldn't gain further support. It broke the 1414 and then came down to this bottom that slightly broke the previous one. Now it broke it, but it didn't stay there. So at the moment, it is a valid double bottom structure. Technically, the Elliott waves don't take into account wicks, but from my experience, I would say since we have made this lower than the previous one, we would need another sort of like this one, the one where we're on at the moment, to be considered the 1-2 on the way up. Again, you might take it both ways. This is the 1-2 if you don't take into account the wick, or you might again consider this as the bottom. So you move it, you move the what is thought to be the previous bottom here, and again we're waiting for a higher low, a low coming from an impulse rather than a candle. Now, I hope you've taken profits. I hope you have taken your profits from this swing down. I have last night. So now, as the structure is, we're waiting for two things. The first one is see if this structure holds and if we gain support on the MAs, starting with the 1 hour. That is for the way up for a possible relief rally. And that relief rally might be tradable, but it depends on how momentum goes. What I'm waiting for personally is another lift up to the 414, possibly the 272, and then another collapse downwards towards the 19,000 level. So yes, both scenarios are technically on the table. I love how I say the same thing every day. We have two options. And then the beauty of waiting for confirmation, which of them holds, which of them actually shows itself. Now, the trend is still down. I think there's another leg down. I think breaking the previous low shows us that intention. I don't want to be biased, and I don't want to put a bias on you and say, it's going down. So again, we will be waiting for the confirmation. If it breaks the previous bottom, so if it breaks the 20,600 and holds below it, so basically holds below this line here, we're coming down for the 19,000. So that is the confirmation of the down movement. The invalidation of the down movement is breaking the 1272, the 22, I'll round it up to the 23K region and holding it. Where we are right now, I will, again, as an experienced trader, I might be able to do a bit more risk management. And it depends on you whether, you could do that. But if you are still beginning to trade and you want to be careful about your losses, especially if you make minimize the losses after the gains, I would be careful to let this show itself. So you've made nice profits here. Let it show itself and let it confirm your level. It takes 2 1-hour candles. So in 2 hours, it will show itself below this line, and then you can follow it down. So that's what I would do today, and that's what I will do today. I am looking for a lift and a rejection. Again, as an experienced trader, I could be going on a lift, watching the rejection, but that's because I'm a bit more sensitive to the play of the candles. But if you want to be in a higher probability trade, wait for confirmation, beauty of confirmation. The MAs are quite simple to explain because we don't have any support at the moment. We've lost all support on the 1 hour, which is the immediate time frame that we're looking at, and then on the 1 day, no support. We are underneath the Bollinger, which is again the bottom line of the Bollinger is an MA. And on the weekly, am I on the 2 weekly? On the weekly. On the weekly, here we are below the 200. As I said earlier, we are below the 200. The average between the 2 times when we pierced below the 200, we went down yet another 15%. That's the average. We can go down another 30%. My technical target for this peak formation here, which is a double top, a bit wonky with this shoulder here, but that's what it is 18,200. So it still hasn't reached it. That's why I'm saying I am looking for a 20,000 to 20,600 to break and confirm below it, because I think we're coming for this target. And I will leave a chaser in for 17, which is like 20% extra to give me that extra bit. That's Bitcoin this morning. Ethereum, again, has taught us the very important lesson of confirmation yesterday. Here's the 1 hour chart. It was, again, a beautifully set bull trap. We had these 2 shoulders almost on the same level in typical Ethereum fashion, super clear levels. The head, and then it got to the confirmation line, didn't even make a higher high, and it got rejected. And once it got rejected there, it made another attempt to test this divergence line. I was using this V as a divergence line just to avoid putting another line. And it tested the 1100 level. The 1100 level is a key one. There's a level at 1055 that I see it breaking. Again, Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, it hasn't made a lower low. So this low, or it might be making one now, this low stopped below the previous wick. Now, if it makes another lower low, if it breaks the 1055, and I've given it a bit of space, like I've given it here, because sometimes they do go to those edges. I've given it a bit of space. If we consolidate, as in have one candle down and the other one continuing rather than retracing up, we might be going for it. and the next level would be the 900 to approximate. So that would be the technical target of this M formation structure or triple top structure that we're breaking out of. On the MAs, again, we are not looking great, no support on the 1 hour, and on the one week, because that's again, we're coming back to test the 786 of this lift. Here is I think the from the death cross here would be the target, and the 400 would be the target if we break the, let's say, from the 900 to the 800. I take most of my profit around 900 if we break the 1100, and then I leave a little bit in for the 800. It might find support there as it did in for instance in this, like it came down but it stopped. I'm not sure it will. Again, as traders, we need to take it level by level right now, because we want to make sure we get our profits. So this is where the 800 is, and you can see there's plenty of weekly support on it. This is where the 400 level is. So plenty of weekly support here, plenty of weekly support here. These are the natural steps down. That's it for me today. That's today, sorry, for London. That's where Bitcoin and Ethereum are this morning. I'll see you for the New York session.
Super. Thanks, Mihaela. Excellent.